Welcome to Lesson 10. In Lesson 10, we're going to talk about the advertising ROI, or return on investment, and then we'll also talk about optimizing your ad performance. We will submit Project 3, and I will go through that in a bit more detail, and we will begin Project 4. So this is a busy week. I will try not to make this screencast too long, but there is a lot of information I want to make sure you have to do well this week. So let's first start talking about ROI and conversion tracking. The most challenging part for this assignment, and for some students, one of the most challenging parts of the course, is to identify and calculate a conversion. And maybe it's because in the church vernacular we're used to thinking about the word conversion in a different way. For purposes of our businesses, I want you to think of conversion as converting a visitor to your website into a paying customer. And this is really where you get into the value of Google Ads. Some of you may say, well, Google Ads doesn't really work for me. I don't like the look for it. I don't think it does great things for my brand. There are some diverting opinions about Google Ads, but the advantage to it, and the reason why I really enjoy Google Ads, is because you can calculate down to the penny, if you've set it up correctly, the return on that advertising investment, and that's hard to do in marketing dollars. So for this assignment, what you'll do is identify a conversion on your website. A conversion is the act that changes a visitor on your website into a paying customer. So if you're selling a product on your website, that's easy to track. That is the moment they click buy or purchase or whatever it is once they have their credit card information on your site. If you have a drop shipping model set up, same thing. You can track that pretty closely. If you have an affiliate model set up, that's a little bit more difficult because they won't actually convert into a revenue generating customer until they purchase the product on the affiliate website rather than just clicking the link. So in that case, you'll want to get some data on, say, the percentage of clicks on that affiliate link that actually result in a purchase. You take the percentage of those visitors that convert into paying customers and multiply it by the average revenue you're bringing in on those. And so it takes some math to get there. For some, these readings are key. If you're struggling with calculating a conversion or setting up your conversion, let me know. But the idea is, and let's take the simplest example, if you set up conversion tracking for your company and you are selling a product, and your product costs $8 on average, then when you set up conversion tracking, when to notify Google Ads when this link is clicked, then I've brought in $8. Then Google Ads will begin to calculate and say, okay, you spent $5 bringing in visitors, all visitors to your web to that product, and one of them purchased for $8, and so you're bringing in a positive return on your investment. Or it may show you that you've spent $30 in advertising to bring customers in and you only made $8, and so you'll know right away whether or not your investment in Google Ads is worth it. So that is your ROI and conversion tracking. Again, I invite you to spend a lot of time on that reading. It's worth it to understand that concept because it's really where you unlock the power of Google Ads. You'll pair that with Google Analytics, and it's I work on the corporate side in my full-time job, and I work with our marketing team, and that kind of information is very, very hard to glean from a traditional marketing department. So to know that from the very beginning, whether or not your investment is worth it, or whether or not you can tweak or improve your Google Ads to make it worth it is really powerful knowledge in the business world. All right, let's jump into project 3. So if you'll recall, last week we laid the groundwork for this, but you did not start your campaign. You will now begin your campaign. You'll activate it. Set your daily budget is the reminder I hope you've seen throughout the last couple weeks. We want you to have a firm daily budget to make sure your costs are contained. Typically it's around $3. You can go a little bit lower, you can go a little bit higher. And we'll talk about that between project 3 and project 4. The important thing is that you have a daily budget that will win some of your advertising bids and start to get your advertisements out online and generate some data for you on those advertisements. So for this assignment, what I'm looking for is to know that your campaign is active and running. If you follow these instructions, it will pull up a similar screen for you. You'll take a screenshot and you'll submit it. And that's it. That's all of project 3 is I'm just looking for this screenshot right here, and it's going to show me 2 components, your ads and your keywords. If you struggle bringing them up together on the same screen, you can submit 2 screenshots, one that shows your ads and one that shows your keywords. But I need to see both in order to get full credit for the project. So these are steps to pull up the screen and then steps to take a screenshot and submit. So if you have questions on that project, reach out to me, but it's meant to be simple. It's meant just to show that yes, you have started your Google Ads campaign. Let's jump into the second topic, which is optimizing ad performance. The great part about Google, and I've mentioned this before, is that they want you to be successful with your ads. The more successful you are with your ads, the more you'll use their product and the more revenue they will bring in. And so they're trying to give you tools to measure your success. That's what the ROI and conversion tracking is, so you know down to the penny how much money you're making off of Google Ads. So for this assignment, you will open this document, which will give you fictitious campaign data. We want you to use this document instead of your own campaign data because you may or may not have data from your campaign. So instead of jumping in and trying to help all students wait until they have campaign data, it's easiest just to pull this document, which will show you what a campaign will look like once it's generating a lot of data. Then you'll go through and look at how many clicks the campaign has had, how many impressions, the average cost per click, the average ad position, the conversion rate, and then you'll follow these readings to teach you what these things mean. From there, you'll make recommendations on this data, not on your campaign data, but on here. And based on these 2 files, you will make recommendations. The idea is that this gets you into understanding how to interpret the data on Google Ads, and so this will set you up well for project 4, where you will make changes to your campaign based on these same points of data. So remember, you'll start with this document, you'll go through the reading, you'll open this document, keywords and ads, and then you'll make recommendations based on this information rather than your own campaign. You'll have discussion boards on those topics, obviously, and then a reflection at the end of the week. And then we will finish here with project 4. When you click on that, you'll have to click on this link here that takes you over to week 12, and this will give you project 4 instructions. There's a great video overview, so I won't spend a ton of time because I think they do a good job of just going over the project details. But in essence, you will download this Excel workbook, and then it, just like project 1, has various tabs. The purpose of this project is to record the data that you've generated on your campaigns, then pause your campaigns and make changes to it and see if you can improve it by applying what you learned in your optimizing ad performance assignment that I just went through. So it'll apply those changes, and then next week we'll make some additional changes to the landing pages, and we'll continue this process of improving your Google Ads campaign. So the purpose is to run and get let's say a week's worth of data, and then pause, and then make some changes and show the change. Now, you will not be graded on your Google Ads performance. Just like everything in this course, the course is not meant to grade you on how well your business performs. It's meant to grade you on how well you can follow the instructions to establish your business and apply these concepts. Google Ads performance can be a little fickle at first when you're trying to figure out what works and what resonates with your target audience. And so you may make changes and your performance decreases. But as long as you can walk me through the steps you took and the changes you applied, then that's what matters for this assignment. It's not a referendum on your business acumen. We hope that is sharpened over time and with experience. But for purposes of this course, you want to show that you can establish the business and follow these instructions. So again, Brother Poole will go into a bit more detail here on the video, but I wanted to explain the concept overall of Project 4. And that will be it for this week. So I know I went into a lot of detail. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of Google Ads now, and particularly with identifying and calculating a conversion, it can be a challenge. Optimizing ad performance, we'll get into some more terminology and technical details, but if you're going to take advantage of Google Ads, these things are critical to understand. So please reach out to me if there's anything on here where you're thinking, well, my business is a little different and I didn't quite understand this concept or that concept. Please let me know, and I'd be happy to help you walk through it.